Oh, you guys back?
Yeah.
God damn it, Kenny.
All right, let me get this recording again.
What type of operation are you running over there?
Listen, dude, I've been fucking cussing these internet providers for a long time now. I don't know. It never used to be like this. I don't know what's going on. It's the Wi-Fi. It's the Wi-Fi because I'm running it off Wi-Fi because my computer's upstairs. So it's away from the Ethernet cable. So it's just been fucking up. It's just been fucking up.
Mr. London, Mr. Fundraisers, Mr. This, Mr. That, Mr. Let's thank our sponsors, cutting out mid-sentence, criminy.
And you were sounding good like, too, buddy.
Yeah, it's like that's what it's. That's just gonna sound
exactly.
like. You know, no vowels.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
Are you ready?
It is Sunday, and you're listening to the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast.
Give me a hell yeah! Get some love! Woo, yeah!
With Kinny Killa.
Hey, yo! We're in the big D tonight, baby! And we are live! Woo!
I'm the Goddamn Sugar Shook.
The best there is, the best there was, and the best ever will be! Cause that's the bottom line! The Stone Cold Simpson!
Oh, son of a bitch, if you just heard the glass shatter, it's because it's the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast, episode 164. It's the best simulcast since WCW and Raw, all on one night. It is Sunday Segue featuring episode 100 of none other than the Attitude of Aggression podcast. Guys, we have merged together today for a wonderful episode. I have my friends all the way from stateside, Dave Gatz. That's right, the host of the Attitude of Aggression Wrestling Podcast. Guys, thank you for coming on and thank you for asking me to do this amazing simulcast.
Oh, Kenny, thank you for having us on your show for our Extreme Rules soiree. And thank you so much for coming on to episode 100 of the Attitude of Aggression Wrestling Podcast. I can't believe it's been 100 episodes already, and you've been on a few of them, Kenny. You are the cornerstone of this thing, probably more than we are, Gates.
Well, I always love having Kenny on. It's always good to get in touch with the motherland. You know what I mean? Talk to our man in the UK, Kenny. It's good to have you.
Oh. Hey man, thanks for that. You was gonna say something, Dave?
Me? No, I was just listening to the Gates, butter you up and make sure that you were well taken care of here. Lubed up, so to speak.
Lubed up, so to speak. I like that. Oh, man. So, Segheads, we're going to do something really special today. Like I said, it's 100th episode of the Attitude of Aggression podcast. I am happy to be on that episode, and I'm happy they are on 164th episode of our show. So, this may be one of many simulcasts that we're potentially going to do between us two. You obviously heard these guys on some of our other shows, Retro Roundtable, but you're going to be hearing a lot more of them. So make sure you guys go onto their Twitter and make sure you click follow. Make sure you check out their latest episodes. Make sure you check out this episode because it's going to be a funny one. So before we get started, let me just say this. We are live on VOC Nation and Swerve Talk. So guys, we're going to kick straight into it. So how's your weekend been so far, guys?
Man, ours has been going pretty well so far. We had this big game night at my house last night, and that was a lot of fun. And I don't know something we got to apologize to your Segheads, Kenny, because Gates and I just haven't been drinking as much alcohol as we normally would. I don't know why.
Let down, man. Come on.
Nah, but that was a good time, and old Gator had stuff going last night as well. So so far so good, but we got to get episode 99's coming out later on today on ours, and then 100's coming out tomorrow. And then, of course, the big event, Extreme Rules, which, like Payback, has a potential to be really good. Mm-hmm. And like the Asylum match, it could be Chamber of Horrors bad. So
electrocute Abdullah the Butcher.
That's right.
Oh, God.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the event tomorrow. But so far, it's been a good weekend. I think as soon as it gets later in the day and we start drinking copious amounts of alcohol, it'll be better.
Okay, well,
it'll all go downhill from talking to you. That's for sure.
I can hear Gates making some odd sounds in the background. You okay, Gates?
It's just the anticipation of the liquor and the shame. It's the whole thing.
Man, I wish I was stateside right now to do the damn thing with you guys. God damn.
I wish you were here too, man. That would at least give us one more person to kind of get hammered with, and then there'd be three of us making fools of ourselves. So.
Well, I mean,
Hey, man, I don't need drink to do that, dog.
That's true.
All right, let's kick into it. Sunday Segue episode 164, Attitude of Aggression, episode 100. Make sure you check us out, the Sunday Segue podcast.wix.com/Sunday Segue. Also, make sure you check us out on Twitter. That's at Sunday Segue, Segue spelled SEGUE. You can follow me at Kinny Killa, KILLA. Make sure you like us on Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on Stitcher, iTunes, Podomatic. Don't forget to download that Double Twist player. Right, guys, it's also your shouts. So any shout outs you want to give right now?
Yeah, I mean, we'll give a shout out to this guy, Kinny Killa, with the Sunday Segue podcast. Oh, yeah, you're on. Never mind. So we still give a shout out to you anyway, buddy. As far as contact information, Attitude of Aggression, you can reach us by email, attitudeofaggression@gmail.com. We are on the web, www.attitudeofaggression.com, where all the podcast episodes are there available for streaming, although I'm really not sure what happens after 100. I guess we'll find out. On Facebook, you can like us on Facebook, facebook.com/attitudeofaggression. Hit the like button. Why, Gates?
Because we like you the likes.
Yeah.
We like them quite a bit.
A lot. More than we probably should.
And a shout out to Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah.
Yesterday marked the
5th anniversary.
Can't believe it.
Yeah. On Twitter, by the way, we are at Attitude Ag. That is at Attitude AGG. And unlike Kenny, we do have an Instagram account at Attitude of Aggression, all one word.
Yeah, guys, you should know by now. One man with no Instagram. It says what it does on the tin.
That's right.
There you go. All right. I want to give a shout out to our business partners in crime. That's Max Wrestling. .wix.com/Max Wrestling. Also, Big Slam Nation, Bill Apter, he'll see you at the matches. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Custom Wrestling Figures, where you can get all your custom wrestling figures made of every wrestler or any wrestler that you like. Jay Lethal, Alpha Female, Adam Cole, Adam Page, even Cheeseburger. You can even get one of yourself. So all you got to do is go onto Twitter, make sure you go to Custom Wrestling Figures, Chris Mitchell, make sure you quote Sunday Segue and get a discount on your figure. All right, so
custom action figures.
Custom
action. So we can get an old Gator.
Oh yeah.
Action figure.
Okay. Yeah.
Man, that would be epic.
I know. I know. They also do international, so yeah, make sure you get one of your own. Okay, so let's cut straight into it. The title for this one and the question for this show is: could Kevin Owens be WWE's next top guy? So let's just open it out. Gates, what do you think? Could Kevin Owens be WWE's next top guy? We see Cena turning 40 soon. He's going to be winding down. He's going to be going mainstream, it looks like. So is Kevin Owens WWE's next top guy?
Well, let me answer the question, can he be the next top guy? And to that I say unequivocally yes. Dave and I have sang the praises of Kevin Owens since he arrived on the main scene. I love his smart ass, smart mouth, smash mouth style. It's a great trifecta. The fans seem to respond to it really, really well. I've never seen a man do so well, not only in the ring performing on the mic well in promos, but also messing with the announce table. Guys like JBL, guys like Michael Cole. The guy is just the complete package. He has personality, but on top of that, he has wrestling ability. And such an unlikely character to have such wrestling ability and such agility when you see that the guy is relatively out of shape, not the biggest of dudes, not the most imposing of dudes. But I think that's his sell, to be honest with you. He kind of has this Stone Cold Steve Austin type aura, kind of relates to the common man, so to speak. So like I said, we at the Attitude of Aggression have been in love with Kevin Owens from the get-go, have been fans of what he's doing. I'm glad that WWE hasn't successfully neutered him despite all of their best attempts. So I think he is capable of being the top guy if everything goes according to plan and if the main roster chooses to go in that direction.
Yeah, okay, I like that. See, this is why I love these guys, because straight shooting, no bullshit. They tell you how it is. That's why I love you, Gates. I love you, man. Old
Thank
Gator.
you, Kenny. Thank
Old
you,
Gator.
Kenny. Old Gator.
Old Gator.
Old
Old
Gator.
Gator.
Old
That
Gator.
action figure is gonna go viral any day now.
Kevin Owens, obviously, he's at the moment he's a heel, and he's doing very well at that. He can. Do you think, Dave, that he can also transcend and be an amazing babyface, as well? Because obviously he's got his, he's a good talker. He's good on promos, good on commentary. Also, he's got that slight funny side to him, which can obviously relate to the to us wrestling fans. But do you think he could transcend and become a big babyface also?
Well, let's compare Kevin Owens to somebody we mentioned just a few minutes ago, and that's Macho Man Randy Savage. And there's a lot of similarities between these two guys in that when Macho Man was a heel and everybody wanted to cheer for him, but there was this feeling, I can't, he's supposed to be the bad guy and so forth and so on. Kevin Owens has a little bit of that going on. He gets a lot bigger pops than a lot of the baby faces when he comes out for matches. People genuinely want to cheer for him. People know the non-kayfabes, the smart people like us, and a lot of fans know the non-kayfabe side of Kevin Owens, that he's a family man, he's a nice guy, he's a good guy. So that's going to endear himself to a lot of people, casual fans, hardcore fans alike. And we were commenting on, I think it's the last episode, when him and Sami Zayn teamed up. We're like, man, there's a team that, yeah, they've teamed before in the past, but not on this platform. And if those two guys get together, they're tailor-made for the tag team titles. And yeah, Kevin Owens just has that it factor that he can be a babyface, he can be a heel. You would just have to flip him the right way. I think if you flipped him the right way, then he would be a massive babyface. If something happened, and yeah, I would draw a lot of parallels between him and Savage. And no, he does not have Randy's physique and probably never will. Nothing's going to change that. But he does have Randy's charisma, and he's a little bit better spoken than Randy, I think, as far as his ability to deliver meaningful, non-crazy sort of dialogue, I guess. Mm-hmm. So, but, when Randy flipped, it was so impactful because he gets hit over the head with a guitar. Elizabeth is sitting right there, running out. If you're going to flip Kevin Owens, I think you would probably involve his family and do something dramatic like that to hammer that home. Something about his wife, something about his kids. Mm-hmm. Have him start portraying the fact that he's not just this arrogant asshole, that he's, a family guy, and then do something involving that. And that's, you could actually do a pretty good double turn with him if you had the right person start being a douche, flip both of them, and get nuclear heat on this person who does something to KO's family while at the same time turning him into possibly the biggest face in the company. So to answer your question in a real roundabout way, absolutely, he could be a huge baby face if they do it right, which with WWE is a big if.
Yeah, that's a big if.
Mm-hmm. We've got Money in the Bank coming up. It looks like we're probably going to go AJ and Reigns one more time, seeing as, Money in the Bank for the title match is normally like a filler title match because the spotlight is obviously on the person that gets the briefcase. Could Kevin Owens be your number one pick to get that briefcase at Money in the Bank? Money in the Bank always works better with the heel holding the briefcase, I feel. So do you think that?
I listened to your guys' last episode, and Gates and I are actually going to be in Vegas for Money in the Bank. We've got our tickets all set up. And I heard what you guys were saying, and I think there's a lot to be said for that. But right now I'm kind of hedging my bet and thinking, do they let AJ Styles win Money in the Bank? Because we've been talking about it on our podcast. They're building this thing up tomorrow that I don't think AJ can beat Roman one-on-one. He's going to have to do some sort of like cash in to win the title. I think they do want to put the belt on him eventually. They just have to pick the right moment. And obviously a straight up environment with Roman isn't that environment. Now, if Seth Rollins is good to go and he's actually in that Money in the Bank match, man, all bets start coming off at that point in time. But I think Kevin Owens could win that match, sure. I would like to see if they put AJ, Seth Rollins, and Kevin Owens in that environment, and if you bring back Cena and put him in that match, and maybe if Orton's ready to go, now you're really talking about one of the biggest Money in the Bank matches of all time. So it does raise the question, okay, what do you do with Roman Reigns? You can't just have him sitting on the sidelines for this thing. Who's he going to challenge unless they're going to let something crazy like him go against Cena at Money in the Bank, which I can't see that happening. But yeah, KO could. I mean, it's hard because until they fill out the field. But my early prediction is Kevin Owens or AJ Styles is going to win Money in the Bank. What do you think, Gates?
I concur with that sentiment. Honestly, my response to this is the same as my response to the initial question filled in my way. I don't know whether it will happen or not, but I think Kevin Owens is certainly qualified to have that Money in the Bank. As far as the whole AJ Styles thing with Roman Reigns goes, I need to see how the match develops tomorrow and what the storyline is before I could really answer about AJ Styles and Money in the Bank. Because Money in the Bank. Because I am just tired of betting against the house. I'm tired of betting against the house. I'm literally predicting Roman Reigns until I see anything different.
By the way, I would warn against betting. Actually betting. We're going to be in Vegas. I don't think we should make any bets on this. Just to say, man, we're so confident in our abilities. We're going to put money on the attitude of aggression because I think we'll probably end up losers. We could do like we did at WrestleMania and go like 4-7. Yeah, that probably wouldn't work out well for the bank.
No. I say save your money, make some more moonshine, fellas. Make some more moonshine.
We do have moonshine downstairs. But...
Moonshine!
Woo! Okay.
Yeah, talking about the moonshine. Yeah.
Get that moonshine and put it in a blender. All right. All right, let's move on now. Gates, the Shining Stars. Okay, so before we went out, these two fucking Canucks were the Matadors, Los Matadors, whatever you want to call them. Now, what's his face? El Dorito is gone, and now, these two guys are like some watered down Carlito special. So they come in, and I'm thinking, all right, they got the mics, they're walking, they're talking whilst their tunes going off. I'm thinking, all right, cool, Puerto Rico, yada yada yada. And then they get in the ring, and I'm looking at Epico, and I'm thinking, dude, why'd you look so jacked? Like, what have you been doing? And then I think, okay, these guys, they're performing, they're doing some new moves. Ain't seen that move before. Lung blower, what?
Thank you.
What's going on? And then slowly I'm thinking, maybe these guys got something. And then I see the finisher, and I'm thinking, dude, why are they doing Perry Saturn's and what's his name's finisher? Is this actually happening right now? And I thought, okay,
that's where I've seen it before. I've seen that before.
And yeah, perfect. So Gates, what is your thoughts on the Shining Stars? Could they go somewhere?
100% they can. This is one of those things that I wanted to hate. When I saw them cutting the promos on beachside, just basically shitting on my life because I'm not living beachside, I was like, screw these guys. I hope this thing crashes and burns like the damn Hindenburg. That being said, though, I think this definitely can go somewhere. First and foremost, let's just keep it to basic, fellas. I like the ring attire that they donned on their debut or their reimagining. I like the theme music that they came down to. And like I was telling Dave, and you touched on this a little bit, Kenny, during their debut match against these jobbers, it was almost like they were against jobbers to prove the point that these guys were going to do some things that we haven't seen in a while in the ring. Because I agree with you, Kenny. I'm watching this, and my feeling during this debut match is, wait a second, what is this? Oh, my God. Oh, what is that? Oh, okay. So, and then they close it with the Shining Star, and I'm okay with the Shining Star. I like that finisher, so I think these guys can definitely go places. They need to work their angle like their Caribbean Cool Carlito, though. I'd like to see them kind of be an offshoot of Caribbean Cool Carlito. But yeah, I'm entertained by them. I am.
Well, Kenny, let me ask you this. Do you think that this angle is a way to bring Carlito back into the fold?
Now, this is what I've been thinking about. I thought maybe it will be nice for, him to come back in. Maybe they feud with someone. Oh, maybe they feud with the New Day or whatever. They need that third man. Here comes Carlito. I would love to see that. I would love to see no holds barred Carlito come in, just don't give a fuck and just, fuck you, Kevin Dunn. What are you gonna say? I just would love to see. I would love to see him come in and do that. So yeah, I would love to see that. So fingers crossed on that one. It could work. It could work too. Obviously we don't want too many 3-man teams, but it could work. But what I see so far is good. I like what I'm seeing, and hopefully they develop this a bit more, and they allow them to kind of use their own initiative like the New Day are doing. But I want to move on swiftly, and Dave, I want to come to you with Dana Brooke. Now, Dana Brooke is being put on Raw, maybe like Apollo Crews a little bit prematurely. What do you think about her debut match, and what do you think about the difference in her look? Because she looks a bit different to me.
Man, I would have to say that Dana Brooke, performance-wise, has improved.
Boobies.
Yeah, well, is that the look that you're talking about that's different, Kenny, in the chestal area?
I didn't say anything. I just said she looks a bit, looks a bit different. She looks a bit different.
A bit different, yeah.
Yeah, maybe the chesticles look a bit different, maybe, the pectoral area.
It's interesting when I watched her that match she had against Paige on SmackDown, and when you watch her against somebody like Paige, I mean, at NXT she kind of like towers over these women that she's in there with because they're pretty much jobbers. But when you look at her against Paige, and Paige isn't exactly a big girl, you say, she's really not. Dana Brooke is built and she's in shape, but she's really not that huge. Well, except again in the chestal region. But aside from that,
movies.
I think Dana Brooke has it's interesting. It's not a drastic, huge improvement, but you compare her to like Eva Marie, and I'm thinking Dana Brooke's much better than Eva is. She actually looks solid so far. I don't know what she did. I know she was hurt for a while, but she definitely seems to have taken a step forward. Is she on the level of Charlotte, or honestly, is she on the level of Paige? I don't care what happened on SmackDown, but no, she shouldn't be. But she's definitely made strides, and my concern, my problem is I don't like seeing somebody like Becky Lynch, who I know has a ton of talent, start to become the jobber to the stars to all these people out. We got to put Emma over, let her lose to Becky.
Ziggler of that division.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then she's dropping matches to Dana Brooke clean, but her look is different. She fits in very well. Her attitude's kind of changed. I'm very curious to see if she's going to pull like what Big Cass has done, where he took the ball and ran with it after Enzo got hurt and really took a step forward. Dana's in kind of ironically the same position. Emma's gone. We don't know for how long. This whole E&D thing that was going to happen isn't going to happen. Dana Brooke's obviously there. Everything I've heard is that Vince is very high on her. Gee, no surprise there. And but it looks like she's going to get a push, and I certainly think that she's made enough improvements to at least warrant consideration for being a top challenger at Raw and NXT. I mean, I want to see her go up against Natalya after Natty's done with this whole crap with Charlotte. That I'd like to see Dana Brooke basically beat Natty's ass for a little while, firmly establish herself as a legitimate threat, and let her continue to improve, because I do like the progress she's made, and I directly compare her to Eva Marie and think she's really progressed quite a bit, while Eva's made sort of minor improvements. But Dana she's got stuff to work on. She still needs to be more fluid. She needs to have smoother transitions. That when she beat Paige this week and she hit that driver that she does, girl, you got to grab those legs a little bit more smoothly than that to lock that pin down. You can't just be like grasping for it. Oh, I almost got it. Damn, I missed it. Paige, will you help me out here? Okay, thank you. There's a 3 count. That kind of thing. You got to eliminate that. I think that'll come in time, but she's definitely got potential, and she fits in pretty well so far at the main roster. Color me completely surprised, because I thought, oh man, this is going to crash and burn. I never saw anything about Dana Brooke that impressed me, but I recant. She's pretty good.
Come over here, Dana.
Motorboat. All right, let's go through the card because this is the prediction show. So let's predict. Let's do some predictions, okay? Let's go through the card. Let's go through.
This is going to be scary. So go ahead, Kenny.
Scary. So let's go through this ish. Right. So pre-show, Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin, number 569. No DQ match. Baron Corbin. Now, I said last week on the episode that I felt that Baron Corbin, for some reason, is more suited on WWE TV than he actually is in NXT. I feel like it's working better on the main roster than it is in NXT.
We've noticed the same thing.
But I still feel like he's missing something. I feel like he should be more like, I should be scared of you, or I should be, you're saying you're the lone wolf and, I'm going to damage you and all this stuff. I should feel like shit. You can kick my ass. You know what I mean? But you're not giving me that. Like, I don't feel like I'm getting that. You know what I mean? If Dolph Ziggler can be like, oh yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? I don't feel that. I feel that he should be a bit more devastating. He's got that size. He's got that I don't give a fuck look. So use that, So I feel like he's missing a little bit. But where do we go from here now, Gates? Where do we go? Who's going to take this down? Because it's quite odd. Ziggler's got a win over him. I think Baron's now got 2 wins over him, so it's already 2-1. Where do we go?
Baron Corbin looks better on the main roster precisely because he has the look. The NXT audience is more centered upon your ring performance and really not much else. I mean, in that small performance center where they film a lot of these NXT shows, you're more apt to have these fans chant boring, boring, and things like that during the matches. The main roster is a little forgiving as far as the fans go. So Baron Corbin has the look. A lot of the big men like the Giant and Kane are aging. So I think that's why he looks good on the main shows, because he's just refreshing. He's young. He doesn't only have an intimidating look, but in my opinion, he has a good look. I could see, guys sitting there talking to their girlfriends saying, why are you giving Baron Corbin the looks? And he looks good too, really, since he trimmed down. So that being said, I think WWE Creative realizes that he looks good. They realize they have potential in this guy. I think Dolph Ziggler kind of had to go over at Payback. I predicted he would go over at Payback, just kind of to reinforce, okay, well, welcome to the main roster. You had kind of an impact, but let's pull back the reins a little bit. Dolph Ziggler's still a veteran. We'll give you this one. I don't think that's going to be the case here. At this upcoming pay-per-view, I say Baron Corbin wins this match. And from here, hopefully we get what you're talking about, Kinny Killa, where we see Baron Corbin start to display his aggressive side, start to display his diabolical side a little bit more. And I think he makes an example out of Dolph Ziggler. I really do. Okay,
so Dave, your prediction, Corbin or Ziggler?
Man, last month when Gates picked Dolph Ziggler to beat Baron Corbin, I thought he was crazy. But now I see the light at Extreme Rules, and I'm going to differ with him on this one. And I think that, Baron Corbin, I have had concerns the past couple weeks that he's going to get lost in this NXT call-up shuffle that WWE sometimes does. And I think no disqualification environment. I would love to see Baron Corbin win this thing convincingly. I think it would be better for him. But with all these guys returning, you're like, okay, where does Baron Corbin fit in on this thing? I'm just trying to analyze this the way that WWE Creative is probably going to, where do we put this guy? I'm not sure where he comes. When John comes back, where does he go? Does he feud with, screw it. Just let Dolph win. That's a safe bet. And I think, I'm going to differ with you, Gates, and actually do what you did last time. And I'm going to predict Dolph Ziggler to win this match in a no disqualification scenario. I don't have faith that Creative really knows what to do with these NXT call-ups. They all get this mini push, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They get this mini push, and then they kind of go to the back of the line. And I'm afraid they're going to do that with Baron Corbin as well. There's certainly precedent for that. WWE's done that 100,000 times so far. I think that when push comes to shove and WWE doesn't know exactly what to do with somebody, they fall back to the safe position on the battlefield. Hey, look, let's just go with the guy who has brought us here numerous times. He's the anchor of the mid-card. This is a pre-show, no disqualify. I mean, the no DQ match gives Dolph ability to do more damage to Corbin than just a crappy roll-up like last time. So, yeah, I don't have faith that WWE will do the right thing with Corbin. I'd love to see it happen, but I'm just going to go with Dolph Ziggler to win this match. I know that's an upset, but I kind of have a bad feeling about this.
Oh, hey, this is what our shows are all about. We go against the grain, and we all are not sheep. We don't all go one way. We go both ways. So, at the end of the day,
we swing both ways. We swing both ways, Kenny. That's all I can say.
Let's go to the Usos versus. I'm not calling them that. I am not calling them that name because I'm wearing right now a Bullet Club tee. Right?
You are, and it looks good. It looks good on you, bud.
Right. So I ain't calling them the club. Fuck that. I'm not calling them that. They are Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows. Gallows and Anderson, for fuck's sake, versus the Usos. Tornado tag match. Okay, for some reason I heard Texas Tornado tag match. It's the same fucking thing. Just call it a tornado tag match. Yeah.
Are they gonna have like a picture of Kerry Von Erich on the ring or something for this match?
You know what I mean?
What is that?
They all come out running down the ring to Texas Tornado theme song. Burn out, burn out, burn out, burn out, burn out. You know, like.
You know, I would be okay with that, Kitty. I would actually be okay with that.
With that odd sound at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god. So Dave, who takes this down? Anderson and Gallows or the Usos?
Well, on this one, I think I will not go against the grain. I will say we have been very impressed that the Usos have really stepped up their game the last few weeks. And like Gates and I have said, they needed Gallows and Anderson to bring that out of them. They were stuck in this shitty feud with the Dudley Boys, and they were just mired in mediocrity. You introduce a top-notch, very physical, strong style sort of team like Gallows and Anderson, and the Usos really turned it up a notch and brought a level of physicality that I didn't think that they had. That being said, though, in a tornado tag team environment where all four guys are just going to be going at it, no rules, just screw it, you guys. Is it just a first pin, right? It's not an elimination match, right?
No.
So it's just okay. I think that the Usos put up a good fight, a game fight, but in the end, I think you're going to just see that boot of doom sort of move on one of these guys at some point in this match. And in this kind of environment, I just think Gallows and Anderson are more tailor-made for this sort of environment. They've done a good job making the Usos look like a legitimate threat and kind of making them relevant again. But yeah, Gallows and Anderson have got to get the win here to keep moving them forward to where I think they're eventually going, and that is to be the team that takes the belts off of the New Day. And so Gallows and Anderson win this thing. It should be a pretty good match, a very physical match. I'm personally looking forward. I'm glad that they added it as a tornado match because, I mean, I can't remember the last tornado tag match I've seen in WWE. So this will be really cool. But yeah, Gallows and Anderson win this thing, and I think they do it sort of handily just to prove a point.
Okay.
I concur that Anderson and Gallows win this match. I don't know about handily or not. I think the Usos put up a good fight in this match. I think the Usos at least deserve that a little bit because they have been taking
they're going to put up a good fight. No doubt.
They've been taking L's at the hands of Anderson and Gallows.
But they did get the last W.
They did, which further contributes to me thinking that Anderson and Gallows will win this match. You have to keep these guys looking strong, as my man Dave said. These guys have kind of been the anchor of AJ Styles. They need to stay in the spotlight, and they need to stay legitimate in that spotlight. So I agree. I second that motion, Anderson and Gallows.
Okay, hey, that was a hearty response. I love that shit. Right, so let's go on to the next match, which is Dean Ambrose versus Chris Jericho in an Asylum match. Now, Gates, I hate the way they put this shit together. Dean Ambrose has become some kooky, fucking crazy fool. I don't like it. He's meant to be a lunatic fringe. That's meant to be his thing. But fucking hell, man, you're going so carny with it. Like, just, you know what I mean? Like, just.
Hey. I need to get your opinion. How about the way Dean Ambrose introduced this Asylum match? Can I get your commentary on that? I mean, the way the cage came down, and there was like that psycho music going in the background.
I wish that we could just that we were broadcasting this live, so I could have showed Kenny's reaction there because he just puts his head in his hands and he's shaking his head.
So you were equally as disturbed,
bro. I was shocked. Why is this guy talking about this match to a fucking soundtrack? Like some crazy Little Shop of Horror soundtrack in the background. What the fuck is this? Musical theater? Like, what's going on? Like, I mean, you know, when the cage nobody comes down, we get the dum 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 dum. I'm like, okay, well, you know, that's their little thing. But this is some dumb shit. How are we meant to take this seriously? I love Jericho as a heel, telling people to shut up, hit the bricks, like, you're stupid, you stupid idiot, like all that stuff. I love that. Because that's as much as the comedy needs to go. But Ambrose, he don't need to bring that. He don't need to, like, you know, I see you with this serious comedy and I raise you with this kooky, dumb, carny shit. Like, forget it. Let's just it's an asylum match. Say I want to kick your ass, take this bloody mop, shove it up your ass. I want to take this and you know what I mean? Just whatever.
I'm gonna beat you with this mop bucket, Gates, and you're gonna love it.
I'm gonna take this fire extinguisher and you know what I mean? Just let's just have a match, man. Stop making it so kooky.
I hope they like attach one of those old school wooden rulers, those big ones, to the cage that you just beat the shit out of somebody with that. You know.
I just hope I fall asleep for the length of this match and wake up in this position. Here's the thing. Dean Ambrose, I'm a fan of. I am not as pessimistic, I'd say. I think he's done very well growing into his psycho, kooky, anarchist element role, per se. Here's where I'll concur with you, Kenny. To me, it all just jumped the shark and just took a big old dump when that cage came down and that music played. It just was like daddy slapping mama at the Thanksgiving table, and we're supposed to go on like nothing happened. That moment when he was given that speech, here's my cage, and look, I've attached things to it. There's a straight jacket over there, and now you need to be in here with me with that music going in the background. It was just awful. The thing was horrendous. That being said, Dean Ambrose wins this match, in my opinion. I think it's very telling that Chris Jericho has kind of been going over Ambrose. He's kind of been punking him recently.
But he hasn't gotten an actual W over him.
He got his show back. I think Ambrose wins this match.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Dave? Who wins it?
Man, this match is going to be just a train wreck. It's got all the potential to be, like I said, Chamber of Horrors. It's got the potential to be that bad. With that being said, though, I don't think you're going to get a match that bad involving guys the caliber of Ambrose and Jericho. They'll beat the hell out of each other. My thing is the way that Jericho's been traditionally booked. You go back to the way they booked him against AJ Styles. It raises some red flags in my mind. I think Dean Ambrose should win this match. But again, you know, with all these guys returning, where does Dean Ambrose go with this thing? If Jericho was actually leaving, if there was some indication his run was leaving, I'd say Ambrose wins this thing, no problem. But with that being said, Dean got the win at Payback. You look at this type of match, man, I'm going to go against the grain here and say Jericho gets one back here, and this continues the Money in the Bank where they get possibly the blow-off. I mean, Dean Ambrose will eventually go over in this feud, but this is kind of these situations where you look at the match and say, okay, sometimes they'll go and have this sort of tailor-made environment backfire on the guy you think it's made for, and I think this might be one of these situations. I think that the Asylum match angle of this is kind of going to be a distraction. It's just basically a cage match with weapons.
Exactly. And
in that kind of environment, if you strip it down to that and remove the Asylum angle from this whole thing, which is just fucking stupid to begin with, I agree with you guys, then, yeah, I think you're just left with two guys in a cage with some weapons, and I think Jericho gets his win back here, and they extend this out to Money in the Bank. So I'll go against the grain and pick Jericho to win this thing. Although I'll probably be wrong about that too. But
now you're in my role.
It's just. I mean, Kitty, let me ask you this: the fact that these two pay-per-views are coming so close to each other, 3 weeks apart, tells me that a lot of what Extreme Rules is going to be is obviously continuations from Payback. Mm-hmm. And so in that vein, that's why I'm kind of leaning and saying, okay, well, it's fresh on our mind that Ambrose got the win over Jericho. Jericho has been made to, he's taken Dean to the cleaners the last few weeks with killing Mitch the Plant, locking him in a straitjacket and all this kind of shit. But, typically the way they book Jericho, this would be the match that he gets one back. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to go with Jericho on this one. Okay. What do you think, my friend?
Yeah, no, I like that theory. I don't know. I just feel that Ambrose has got, Mitch busting his head, and then he got the straitjacket. He got the straitjacket thing, and I don't know. I just feel like Ambrose is probably going to go over. What are the chances that Ambrose loses his own match? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I suppose it's the same with, like, if, how WWE book hometown talent, they normally lose. So maybe they make him lose, and then your theory comes to light. So maybe, who knows? But the way they're booking things at the moment, you just don't know how it's going to go. So, yeah, if Ambrose decides that, if Ambrose gets the win, then it's obviously, you know, it's the way they kind of go with it. But, you know, you just don't know sometimes how WWE's, you know, what they're going to do and how they're going to book things, especially with Money in the Bank around the corner. So who knows? All right, what we're going to do now, guys, is we're going to go to a break, and then we'll be back. We'll continue to run through the card and hopefully predict this show without any more problems. So please, don't you miss it.
The mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. Net Carrier has many great products and services to increase your bottom line. Be sure to ask your Net Carrier representative about our hosted PBX. Call Net Carrier today for a free analysis of your phone bills. 877-255-7733. That's right, 877-255-7733. Call now.
And we're back, people. Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast, episode 164. Attitude of Aggression Wrestling Podcast, episode 100, baby.
You know it.
Okay, so we're going to continue with our rundown of Extreme Rules and the card. It's your boy Kinny Killa, also here with Dave and Gates. Let's do the damn thing. So we're going to go into the next match right about now, which is the Bull Bag, The Miz, and his wife Maurice, versus Kevin Owens, Cesaro, and Sami Zayn. Now, for me, the way they have built this match up and the way they've been kind of messing around with the IC title at the moment, it's just, for me, it's put it in a really good light. You have the right kind of players in this mix. You have the Miz, the Bullbag, who has come from nowhere. Now he's introduced his missus, and the dynamic is fucking amazing. Plus she's good to look at. Yeah. And Kevin Owens, enough said. We've done, you know, we said what we said about him. Cesaro, again, with the Bond thing, it's added character to him. And even with the suits, it's added more character and some more personality. So he's stepping up. Sami Zayn is Sami Zayn. He's just over. So it's the right mesh. Now, Gates, how does this play out? Because if we're saying Kevin Owens is one of the ones to win the Money in the Bank briefcase, will we see this guy win the world title whilst holding the IC strap? Or is he not going to win the strap and we keep the strap on the Miz? What's your thoughts and theories on this mesh?
First and foremost, let me say that I concur about your sentiments on the Miz.
And we know you concur on his sentiments on Maurice.
Oh yeah. You
want to let the seg heads in on a secret about Maurice, Gates?
I do it. Here's the thing. Miz has come out like a house of fire. I always knew the guy's a good wrestler, that he's not a freaking joke. I mean, this guy comes from a championship pedigree. So I've always known that The Miz is not a competitor to be taken lightly. And I am glad that he stepped into this Intercontinental Championship role and has just kind of taken the world by storm with it. I think he and Maurice are fantastic together. I love their prima donna appeal. Just everything about them. I get excited. The fanboy in me gets excited whenever Miz comes on because I know that I will be entertained. Therefore, I say Miz actually retains the title in this match. For the same reason that I predicted Miz went over in the last pay-per-view preview show. Because I think creative realizes that Miz is just far too entertaining. He's far too entertaining with this title. With talent like Zayn, with talent like Kevin Owens, and with talent like Cesaro chasing this, in my opinion, this right here is the feud where you want to get nuclear heat on the Miz. You want to really, really build up this angle where he's just a weasel. He keeps cheating his way into victories here. So when we finally do get that payoff from Zayn or KO or perhaps Cesaro, though I don't think he'll be taking the belt, but one of them taking the belt from Miz, it'll be truly a big deal. This deserves to be a big deal because Miz is putting in all-star work as a heel. So I say this right here is just a continuation match. Miz wins this. I'm looking forward to this because it doesn't take an expert to realize that this is going to be a freaking humdinger. It's going to be a humdinger. It's going to be a mollywhopper, Dave.
A Donnybrook?
The old Donnybrook. The old barn burner.
A slobber knocker.
I think the Miz should hold the title for a year. I think he should hold it we should be doing some honky tonk man shit to the point where when he loses that strap, everyone is fucking going mental. Like, you know what I mean? The Miz it's like proper heat, you know, and Maurice is getting heat. Maurice is coming out speaking French, like everything, just heat seeking the whole place for a year.
100%.
That would be great. Dave, who takes that down?
I think you can eliminate Kevin Owens from this conversation. He should win. He's clearly the most talented guy, but I do think he's earmarked for bigger and better things. His time at the Intercontinental Championship level of the card is past, and it's beyond him. I don't think Cesaro is a real factor on this thing. Yeah, the guy, it's like last month or last pay-per-view. Sure, he deserves the title, but they're just not going to put it on him. So that leaves you with Sami Zayn and The Miz. And there's a big tendency, a big theory in my mind that Sami Zayn should win this match, but I think what you guys are saying makes sense. Let The Miz hold the title. Let them percolate this feud between Sami Zayn and The Miz. Let Sami continue to chase him and keep getting screwed over, keep coming up short with the payoff. I don't think they'll let it go for a whole year, but I do think that Sami Zayn will probably take the IC title at like SummerSlam after The Miz holds on through all sorts of bullshit with a lot of involvement from Maurice. And Zayn is similar to what they did with the build between Sami Zayn and Neville, where Sami just chased him, came up short, and then finally broke through. And I think that everybody talks about this fatal four-way. There's no champion's advantage. It's a 25% chance. They've set this up to give The Miz a reasonable excuse to win this match, continue his reign. They don't want to make Miz look too strong, like he's winning these matches legitimately. Exactly. But, you know, in this kind of environment, they can protect his douchiness, his ball baggishness, as you would call it, Kenny. Allow him to win, continue to draw heat on him because Miz is a heat seeker. But yeah, him and Maurice are just killing it on the mic. Yeah, I mean, Miz can't match Kevin Owens on mic skills when they're in commentary together, but that's all right. He doesn't have to. He's the Miz. He's awesome, and he's going to win this match and continue to move forward. I'm looking at SummerSlam to be like the payoff for where they switch him. They don't let anybody except CM Punk go for a year any longer. So, and the Miz just doesn't. He's not going to have that kind of. Sooner or later, that ball baggishness of his is going to catch up, and the crowd's going to get really tired of it. And I think you can't. You got to be careful that you don't slow burn that title change too much in this environment. But I agree with Gates. The Miz retains this title somehow, and
with this douchebaggery,
exactly. So yeah, I agree. The Miz retains the IC title, but if he doesn't, I think Sami Zayn's the one to take the title in this.
Oh god, I just love the backing track from Gates. I love that. All right, let's go on to Kalisto versus Rusev Machka with Lana, the lovely Lana. Now I am hearing in the dirt sheets, and obviously the dirt sheets means that it's a must gonna happen.
Well, isn't everything on the internet true?
That they are looking to have a mixed tag match at some point with Kalisto and a woman versus Rusev and Lana. Now, if this were to be, I wish that at this point Sexy Star was on WWE because, as people know, Sexy Star is Kalisto's wife, and Sexy Star, I believe, is the current Lucha Underground Heavyweight Champion. God damn it! So that would be great, but obviously that's not going to happen. So who the hell are they going to put if this does happen? I hope it doesn't, but let's get to case in point. Kalisto versus Rusev. The guy, speaks to himself in third person, whatever. How can you don't even say me. He says Rusev Machka. Rusev, what does Machka mean? Do you know?
I've got no idea. We'll have to look that up. But obviously, I think The Rock's little Wisconsin wheelbarrow tryst with Lana has now convinced Rusev that he can be The Rock, so he's speaking in the third person. Rusev says.
Machka.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't quite have the same appeal, but.
No. Dave, who takes this one down? Remember, this is for the United States Championship, I believe.
I tell you, I'm tired of picking against Kalisto.
Exactly.
And we're always wrong. And we thought that at WrestleMania, Ryback would win. Bullshit. We thought at Extreme Rules, Ryback would win. Instead, he's going to get released. So that went in kind of the opposite direction.
The whole thing went to hell.
The whole
damn thing's fucking the plane hit the mountain.
Yeah. There's no survivors. So obviously what they're doing with Kalisto and as burnt out as it is, they like this David versus Goliath sort of storyline. They want to portray Kalisto as this guy who can conquer anything and keep beating these guys who he has no business beating based on skill and heart alone. Rusev's another example of that. Lana being there may help, but it'll probably backfire on Rusev. I really think they're building to like John Cena taking the belt off Kalisto and reinstating that United States Open. Because it's like, okay, Kalisto, he beats Ryback twice. He beats Rusev with Lana trying to get involved. Now, John Cena comes back that first night on Raw on Memorial Day. Say, I want a shot at my U.S. title that I never got a rematch for. Can Kalisto beat the face that runs the place? My answer to that is emphatically not a chance in hell. But I think for this match, I'm not picking against Kalisto anymore, not in this sort of environment. Kalisto wins, retains the United States Championship. Cena's going to be the one to take that belt off of him. That's my, the host of the ESPYs will come out there with the United States Championship, and there you go.
With your sentiments, I agree, Dave. Here's the thing. Here's the thing with Kalisto. I think the reason I keep betting against the house is because Kalisto, as U.S. champion, has not been booked it all the way I thought they were going to book him.
And does WWE care?
No.
Okay.
With Kalisto's skill, I thought it was going to be a great era for the U.S. Championship. I thought it was going to be a revival of this championship of sorts, because I thought, here's Kalisto. He could put on these 5-star matches with his lucha libre ability, his high-flying abilities. So this guy's really going to put over some talent. Guys like Tyler Breeze, guys like Stardust, guys who we know, even though we don't take them too seriously, can wrestle. I thought Kalisto was going to be putting on some regular weekly 5-star matches with this belt. He hasn't. Instead, they booked Kalisto as just basically he's just a no-show champion. I mean, they have not removed him from Sin Cara. How many U.S. champions do you know still compete as though they're regular tag team competitors? It is absolutely ridiculous. So this is one of those cases where I'm tired of betting against the house. It's clear that Vince McMahon and creative just don't give a damn about making Kalisto look good with this belt. They don't give a damn about giving the fans what they wanted when Kalisto initially won this belt, and they're going to keep doing it. Rusev is the definition of a paper tiger. This guy is just set up to be another Goliath that's knocked down. It's absolutely ridiculous. And you know what? With how poorly Kalisto has been booked, for the same reasons I wanted to see Ryback go over Kalisto, I want to see Rusev go over Kalisto, because anything to stop us from this BS that's been going on with Kalisto, him not defending this title, is just all a mess. But that being said, WWE Creative does not care in this specific instance, and Kalisto will win, and yes, it will set up for Cena, even though a guy like Rusev deserves it, because I'd love to see him Rusev crush with Lana shaking that ass and freaking Rusev holding up that belt. But we're not going to get it because you don't care, Vince. You just don't care.
Well, yeah. That's the other alternative. If Rusev wins this match, do they dare let Cena beat him again? You okay, Gates? Never mind.
I think he's going to need a minute.
Yeah,
okay.
I do too.
Let's move on to the next match.
What do you think of this one, Kenny? How do you see that one going?
I feel that they just, right now, Rusev has left the League of Nations, and I think they're trying to reboot and go back to his previous character and just literally just kill everyone. So I think he should kill Kalisto, literally. All right, no, not literally, but I think they should just, he should obliterate Kalisto, put him in the Accolade, finish him off, and then go at it again with Cena. I love Rusev. He's just crazy. Just the fact that when he comes out, he just jumps in the air, just.
I agree with all that, but do you think they're actually going to go in that direction, Kenny?
See, this is the thing, because WWE pissed me off. Come on, man. Just, anyway, we just don't know. I wish that that's what they did. I also like your idea about Cena coming back and wanting the title, but, wherever they're going to have him against Kalisto, I just think that would not be... I think they would use Cena to endorse Kalisto rather than, fucking, put him over on him. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But next match we have is Charlotte as the WWE Women's Champion versus Natalya. Straight submission match. I think Gates has now composed himself. So Gates, who wins this?
This is a difficult one to call. Okay, well, the obvious here is Rick is barred from ringside. So Ric Flair is barred from ringside. I'm just gonna say
with and remember this, the special stipulation: if he comes down, Charlotte forfeits the title.
I'm just gonna say Natalya here. And this right here is difficult. First of all, I predicted her to win at Payback.
Natalya, you did.
Natalya to win. I thought that I'm a fan of Charlotte. Everyone knows that who listens to our show regularly. And obviously, I'm a huge fan of Rick. But I have been wanting to see this storyline develop, and I mean really develop. I wanted to see them, really slam their foot on the gas pedal as far as this divorce between Charlotte and her dad. She's got to stop relying on him. He's costing her matches. He's infringing upon her image. I've wanted to see them accelerate this breakup. So perhaps this is just the fanboy in me. Perhaps this is just me kind of projecting my own booking sentiments. But I'm going to have to say Natalya wins here. I could actually see Rick costing her this match in some way.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. So I say Natalya wins, but this is still difficult. I don't know why I'm just having a difficult time with this.
Now, I think before that stipulation came into play on Raw this past week, I would have said Charlotte's going to win this match. She's going to prove it on her own. They're not going to put the belt on Natty. But now that they've added that stipulation, I think that, they want to separate Natalya from Ric Flair. What better way to do it than have him cost her the title in a match and say, and it's great because Charlotte can say, I never submitted. I was okay. Natty's got her in a sharpshooter, but Charlotte's somehow not giving up. And Rick comes down to try and help his daughter. They call for the bell. Charlotte has to forfeit the title to Natalya. I don't like it because I think that, but here's the thing is, there's obviously they're keeping Sasha Banks off TV for some reason. The storyline,
for obvious reasons, because she takes the shit over.
Yeah, she's a huge distraction. So they're obviously building for something with her. And I think that just because, I'll turn it back to you in a second, Gates. But it's just, I think that them adding that stipulation, the big storyline is the breakup of Charlotte and her father. They want to go in that direction. What better way to really put the last nail in that coffin than to have Rick cost his daughter what matters most to her, and that's the women's title. So as much as I don't like it, man, because I hate this shit. The stuff on Raw Monday was atrocious. One of the worst segments I've ever seen on Raw. Just god-awful bullshit. And I get so tired of Natty just doing nothing because she's got the talent. She does nothing. I'm just going to grab your legs here. I haven't done any damage to you, Pilgrim. And now I'm going to slap the sharpshooter on your ass, and there's nothing you can do about it. So, I don't like it, but I have to agree with Gates. I think that stipulation really screwed this whole thing up, and Natty becomes the women's champion, only to probably drop it to Sasha by SummerSlam or something.
Let me tell you why you're not seeing Sasha. And you can go back in the Attitude of Aggression archives, and this was my initial prediction about this whole thing. Here's how exactly it's going to work out. Charlotte, as evidenced by Monday, still apparently has some work to do on the mic.
Just a bit.
That being said, the woman is one talented son of a bitch in that ring. She is one talented son of a bitch. That woman deserves to hold the title from here until eternity. I mean, that woman can go. I think Creative realizes that. At the same time, Sasha can go. Creative realizes that here's the real money. Sasha versus Charlotte. But you're not going to have Natalya, who, nice gal, talented gal, but not nearly as talented as Sasha, not nearly as charismatic as Sasha, not nearly as talented as Charlotte, take this belt clean off Charlotte. And you're not gonna have Charlotte just continue to hold on to this belt and just drag out this whole Ric Flair thing, only to lose it to Sasha Banks way down the road. I think Natalya here is the ultimate smokescreen. She's the ultimate smokescreen. She wins this belt purely to hand it over to Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks runs with it for a while, and then I don't know if it's at WrestleMania or whatever, but that's where we get our payoff, where Charlotte goes, wait a second, I've shed my dad, I've shed all my demons, I'm still the best, damn it. I'm still Charlotte, my last name's still Flair, and Sasha Banks, I want a shot at that belt, and that's your match.
Well, I like that, that forward thinking. I like that that's what you're going with. See, but I have to disagree because I feel like it may happen, Natalya might win to only drop it back to Charlotte like real quick. But I think what they want, you got to remember how they're booking SummerSlam. They're booking SummerSlam like it's a second WrestleMania, and they need a marquee women's match, which will probably be. I would have preferred to see Charlotte versus Sasha at WrestleMania. But I just have a feeling that they're gonna go for Charlotte versus Sasha with Charlotte holding the title at SummerSlam. Charlotte to hold the title from WrestleMania all the way to SummerSlam. Big deal, and then Sasha takes it off her. I feel like they need to build up Sasha. They should have built her up, really, or they should build her up after this and just slowly start building this to when Sasha actually takes the title. It's going to be such a fucking big deal that, it's just going to be money. It's just going to be money for them at WrestleMania. She's just going to be making it rain everywhere. So,
well, I like your idea about, maybe Natty wins this match, takes the title, holds it till Money in the Bank, and then drops it back to Charlotte. That still gives them, Battleground, and like 2 months almost to build to a Charlotte-Sasha match at SummerSlam. Because I think, you're right. They're building SummerSlam like WrestleMania light. And what could be a bigger match than Charlotte versus Sasha for the women's title there? I don't think you want to stretch that to WrestleMania. That's too long of a build.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll hold that long. But if you get them to SummerSlam, then with using Natalya as the impetus, so to speak, to break up Charlotte and her dad, and then build up, have Charlotte win the title back at Money in the Bank, only to build up to Charlotte versus Sasha, SummerSlam, and Sasha takes the belt finally at that point in time.
Okay. Let's move on to the New Day versus the Vaudevillains. Now, the Vaudevillains, I was afraid, right? I was afraid for them because I thought they were going to come up and it was going to be dumb, stupid, these old school guys, blah, blah, blah. But the way they've spun that is they've had them come out, made them look modern, but say that they're harking back to a bygone era. Perfect, because it still keeps them current, still keeps them modern, but they're paying homage to the bygone era. So it works. These guys have come, when they took out the New Day last week on Raw, and the way they took them out with these new moves that they were doing, I was like, you know what way to make a bigger impact than doing new moves that no one has ever seen and taking these guys seriously. So it's a nice beatdown. Now, would you be surprised if Vaudevillains take it down? I would, maybe 2 weeks ago, would have said, yeah, of course. But the New Day have held these titles for a long, long time now. And New Day chasing will relight something in the New Day, because I think at the moment they may be becoming a little bit predictable, a little bit stale. I don't know what last week was, but I didn't like it. My pick would be for the Vaudevillains to go over. Gates, what's your pick?
I picked the Vaudevillains as well. I think merely because I think the story here is the New Day is too, as far as the way New Day is booked, their personalities, they're too similar to Enzo and Big Cass. They're too similar to them. Therefore, it's just Enzo and Big Cass need a villain to chase. And shit, Vaudevillains, it's in the name. So I say Enzo and Big Cass go after Vaudevillains. I think there's a chance that the titles switch hands here. The New Day have been, what worries me about this prediction, though, is the New Day have been awfully quiet. Yeah, they've been stagnating. I think a little bit, me and Dave have brought that up in our podcast. But something smells fishy about this match.
Well, I'm going to differ from you guys. I think that while I like what they've done with the Vaudevillains, and they've done a great job as making them look like a legitimate threat, and I'll give credit to Gates here. Gates was calling for them to be more deviant, more maniacal. That beatdown of the New Day that they've done a couple of weeks in a row now certainly establishes them as they're not the same old Vaudevillains from NXT who just sit there and look kind of creepy but don't actually follow up with that and with any action. They have definitely stepped that up, and now they're backing up their creepiness with their actions. That being said, I don't think that you're going to end the New Day's reign by putting the titles on the Vaudevillains. And the New Day, they've been made to look especially weak. They've been doing a great job putting the Vaudevillains over. I agree with you, Kenny, though, that as far as the shtick goes, the New Day's getting really old in that. And the worst thing that happened to them was them being formally flipped to babyface. They were the greatest faces that there was in WWE when they were heels. And as soon as they flipped them formally to babyface, it just went straight. It's like going off the rails, watching the train wreck. It's like, I don't want to watch this, but I can't turn away sort of scenario. And I think like what you're saying, though, Gates, you're talking about Enzo and Big Cass. Yes, there is a villain out there, but it's not the Vaudevillains. As we've talked on our podcast, Enzo and Cass are going to take on Gallows and Anderson are going to be the ones to take the belts off the New Day. And then you have Enzo and Cass, because that is a perfect matchup. Because you got Cass against Doc Gallows, perfect. You got Enzo against Carl Anderson, almost as good. That's the match I want to see. I think that's where they kind of go with this. Anderson and Gallows, when they get the shot at the New Day, that's when the belts will flip, because I don't think the New Day will beat them. But the Vaudevillains have been built up to be a legitimate threat. They're looked at a little bit differently. Obviously, you guys are picking them, so they mission accomplished. But I just don't see this team as being the ones to beat the New Day and take the titles off them, especially as weak as the New Day have looked against them. So I picked the champions to retain in this environment.
Right, we're running out of time real quick, so let's go to the main event, Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles. This has been the absolute perfect feud for Roman Reigns coming out of WrestleMania. Like I said last week, they need someone who in the ring who can go, who's ready to go, and to make Roman look strong. AJ Styles does that. AJ Styles also does that without looking weak. So even though he's a shorter person, he's got the lineage, he's got the background, so he can do that. Now, the way they built this up with the two groups, the family and the club, yada, 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 is being absolutely spot on. Could this go further? It could go further. But this might be a blowout. Obviously, the predictable nature of it is that AJ Styles probably won't go over. So my pick is Roman Reigns. Dave, who's your pick?
Yeah, I think Roman Reigns wins this match too. There's nothing that I've seen. Roman's being built really well. I agree with you. I mean, it's like, cheer me, hate me, I don't give a shit anymore. I'm just the guy. As cliche as that is, he is the guy. And there is no bigger monster in WWE right now, with the exception of one guy, and that's Brock Lesnar, who can match Roman Reigns. And they have built Roman to be this Brock Lesnar-ish sort of character when Brock's not around. And just the way he looks at people, he gets hit in the back with a chair, and he just kind of shrugs it off and looks at you like, I'm going to rip your head off and shit down your neck in about a second here. AJ's going to throw everything he possibly can at Roman, but I do think they are building to this thing where AJ just gets desperate and realizes, I can't beat this guy. I thought I could beat him on my own, but I can't. He's not these guys in Japan. This is a whole different monster. These guys in Japan are little toothpicks compared to this giant bastard that I'm trying to take down here. And Roman's they're going to build Roman. I still think they want to build towards Roman and Brock at SummerSlam. And I think the best way to do this is to continue to make Roman Reigns look like the monster that he is. Not this. They've shed this whole, I'm trying to be a babyface and I'm trying to pander. Now I'm just going to kill everybody who gets in my way. And, Seth Rollins coming back will be very interesting because he's going to make obviously a legitimate claim that, hey, I never lost my title and I can beat you, Roman, that kind of thing. So maybe they're building towards Seth and Roman or some sort of Shield reunion against the club. That is another distinct possibility. But I think in this environment, AJ's going to give it a good match. All hell's going to break loose. The question now is, do you get a Finn Balor? Does Finn Balor try and get involved in this if Finn gets involved, then all bets are off and AJ may win this title. But I don't think that's going to happen, at least not until after the next takeover. Roman Reigns wins, retains the title, and we move on to, I don't know if this continues, because I still think AJ gets involved in that Money in the Bank ladder match. But I think, Roman Reigns wins this match, and I don't see any way that AJ pulls this thing off.
I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. I'm the guy. I'm afraid, my friends, that is closer to reality than it is kayfabe. Roman Reigns is clearly the guy. I'm tired of betting against the house. Roman Reigns retains.
Okay, I like that. All right, so that's the end of the predictions, guys. Just before we go, we have a new segment that we started last week. You just got motherfucking curb stomped. So this week,
I heard this last week.
So we get picks this week of who you would like to motherfucking curb stomp. Now I know who Gates is gonna pick, so I won't choose that guy. So right about now, I am gonna pick Stephanie and Shane McMahon. What the fuck are you two guys doing? It looks like some incest shit is about to take place. Stop that shit right now. Stop it. I know Vince is weird and he likes that kind of shit, but stop it right now. You need to calm down with how you're saying things and how you're doing things, because it looks like you're flirting, and that's not nice. So, you deserve multiple curb stomps. Gates, run with it.
Shane McMahon, you need to get your ass curb stomped, and I'm going to bring the heat. I would bring the heat if you were here in front of me. Shane McMahon, I watched you in the Attitude Era. I watched you on the WWE Network. There was a time where you're entertaining. Oh, yeah, you unified the universe. You're coming back. You're managing Raw. Will you hold me? Will you be my friend? Oh, it makes me freaking sick. Shane McMahon, if you're in the ring with Ric Flair and you're in the ring with these superstars, speak with a little bit of authority. Speak with a little bit of character. You're not a freaking diplomat. You're not a Secretary of State. You're going to get the curb stomp, Shane. You're going to get the curb stomp. Ah!
Okay. Gates, anyone else you want to curb stomp? Anyone else at all? Because you saved my life this week. You saved me from losing some money.
You can catch the curb stomp too. You're not funny. You can't dance. You got no rhythm. When I watch you in the ring, I want to go in the bathroom and masturbate or take a dump, because that would be a better use of my time than watching you try to entertain the wrestling universe. No way, Jose. You can catch the curb stomp too.
Oh, God. Okay, Dave, who... And you could pick anyone in the wrestling world. Who would you like to curb stomp?
I would say that anybody who had anything to do with that god-awful segment at the end of Raw. Shane, Stephanie, Natalia, Charlotte, Rick, Vince, every motherfucker in creative who actually said, this is a good idea, let's go with this. You all need to be fucking curb stomped multiple times, especially Natty saying, oh, I was so pleased to headline Raw like that. No, you need to be curb stomped. You need to be pedigreed. You need to be fucking power bombed in F5 for that stupid shit to actually sit there and say that this was a good segment. You make me want to fucking puke. And yeah, no way, Jose, suck my ass.
Now I'm gonna get in on Jose. Listen, no way, Jose, you need to drift away like the motherfucking drifter. Because right about now, why are WWE developing these guys? You've got fucking La Sombra in your back pocket and he's nowhere to be seen, but yet you're bringing on these Canucks onto my screen. What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? Stop bringing these guys onto my screen. I am happy that you've managed to bring the Mighty Don't Fall, the Mighty Don't Kneel, TMDK. Finally, they're coming on TV in the coming weeks on NXT. But man, you guys have striked out on these guys. You are meant to be developing talent, and all you're doing is bringing in all these guys from abroad, which obviously I like. But at the same time, do your damn job. Do your damn job. Stop bringing up these Canucks.
You cannot give these guys a main roster gimmick on NXT, because that's the shit you would see on SmackDown or Superstars. No way, fucking Jose. Come on.
I like that, Canuck. No way, Jose is the definition of Canuck, isn't he? I don't even know what a Canuck is, but he can catch the freaking curb stomp.
Kenny will explain it to you.
It makes no sense. That is the point. That is the point. You are a motherfucking Canuck. Done. Finished. Finito. That is the end of the show, people. That is the end of the amazing simulcast with some technical difficulties, but you wouldn't know that, would you? You wouldn't know because of my heavy technical editing skills. But nevertheless, you can follow us at Sunday Segue. Segue spelled SEGUE. You can follow me at Kinny Killa. That's KILLA. Run with it, Dave.
Yeah, Attitude of Aggression. You can follow us, email us, as we talked about earlier. Download our podcast. Check out episode 100 coming out this weekend. Kenny, as always, thank you, my friend, for being a part of the show, having us on your show. It is, as always, an epic time. Despite No Way Jose, screw him.
So, guys, make sure you check us out on the flip side. It will be, I believe, episode 16 of Sunday Segue TV with me and obviously my partner in crime, the no shady Tom Brady, where we'll be looking at and predicting the Best of Super Juniors, Day 1, 2016. Obviously, we bring you the best in New Japan Pro Wrestling for OneWrestling.com. Bill Apter, like I said, he'll see you at the matches. So we have gone through the whole of the Best of Super Juniors and we have predicted it. We get a point. We get a point for each match we predict, right? And if we predict the top scores, right, and we predict who wins, we get a point for each. So make sure you check that out on the flip side. Next week we shall have Billy Ray Valentine and also 8-Track Brown, hopefully Anthony Quintana also, all from the Big Slam Nation on our show. And if you don't like that, you can choke on that slap nuts